Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem, performed this afternoon by Peter Griffin and his dirt bike.
This is Davey, the Duke Millsaps, and you're listening to DMXS Radio, the best damn station on the planet.
Guys, welcome back to DMXS Radio. Make sure you guys check out the Cooper Webb and Adam Cincerello pods that we just dropped in the last week or two. And thanks to our sponsors who make all this possible, Racer X, the great folks there at MX Sports, W Wheels, OGO, Concept 2 Rowers. Make sure you check out Dunlop at ridedunlop.com. And now it's time for the 250 red plate holder going into round 2. RJ Hampshire. What's up, RJ? You there, brother?
Yep.
Okay, RJ, I just said the red plate holder going into round 2. I did a huge intro and forgot to push a button. So, but you're on live. Here we go. DMXS. You ready?
Yeah, let's do.
Hey, congratulations on the huge win. I mean, this is kind of a big deal for one of your several wins of your career to be Anaheim 1.
Yeah, man, it was special. Just something you always kind of dream of as a little kid, and then. Man, just had the opportunity over the weekend to kind of make it happen and do it pretty, like with a lot of confidence, kind of knowing I could. Man, just kind of different weekend. That's something I've never really experienced in my career.
Hey, before we get into all that, we have plenty of time for that, but I haven't talked to you since the designations. And man, the longer I've been doing this, the more I pull for the human being as opposed to a rider. Riders switch gear companies, bikes, OEMs, everything throughout their careers, and you end up pulling for people instead of for what brand they ride. And you have always been one of those guys that on the bike, off the bike, just your character. You're a great dad. You're a great ambassador for the sport. You always have been for your OEMs, whoever you've ridden for. You've always asked for the designations. You're like that guy. You're like the Jordan and whatever. You want the ball in the last couple seconds. You want that pressure. And fans appreciate that. And I just wanted to say, on the record, how much we appreciate that and what you did for our country. And that means a lot to the core fans. That's still and will always mean a lot.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Like that was unbelievable. Like that whole experience. And our results kind of sucked, but that is something that, man, I'll never forget. And just kind of look back at it, and man, I of course, if I got asked tomorrow to go do it again, 100% I'm in.
Hell yes.
But man, that's the fans and the atmosphere, and it just felt like you were not at a dirt bike race. Like you weren't. Like it's so hard to put into words. It's pretty much like a Super Bowl almost. Like the fans and the hillside, and man, just so cool to be a part of. felt like I rode really well there. I mean, the results I said didn't really show, but yeah, just an awesome experience.
When you go into that and you look at the, we've been covering it long enough to see some of the, the RCs and the Stefan Everts and some of these great battles throughout. It wasn't back, with the Bailey and RJs and stuff like that. But we got to see, this generations of riders go through that. And when you add your name to the list of people, when you go that and do the Wikipedia or the Des Nations history forever and ever, your name is going to be on this. When long after you're done, you did this. I mean, this is a box that you checked off in your career that a lot of guys at the top of the sport never get to.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, again, just to even have that opportunity to, make that happen for myself, for my family, really for my career, and just all the ones that supported me. Like, man, we've been through so much, and just to kind of see it, like, I mean, I'm late in my career now, and man, I still feel as fresh as ever, and like each year keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
It's crazy to say. So, I mean, I still really feel like I have a lot to accomplish, and man, I'm going to earn my way back to that team and, hopefully put in a little bit better results whenever, it does come down to that. 'Cause I mean, no one would really tell or no one probably realized. I mean, I was pretty rough leading up to that whenever I went. Like, I went knowing I wasn't going to be 100%.
Right.
Just for that opportunity to go.
Well, this is the thing. I'm sorry I missed the press conference after Anaheim. I had an early flight going out the next day. But you and Smitty, I mean, just two of my guys that I've known forever. I try to kick Smitty's ass in our fantasy golf league every week, and I've known him since he was a kid, and I've known you just way back from amateurs through. And it just to me was such a cool, refreshing thing on the podium of Anaheim 1 to see you two guys just still going at it, even all the way back for your Geico days, and just up there on the podium. And to me, living your best lives, just letting your career was just awesome for a guy like me to see, an old fan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even with Levi, just three really solid dudes on the podium, and that's kind of what we were joking around. Like, and we'll go hang out like after the race. Like, these are three guys like that really get along and kind of have similar personalities. But yeah, it's cool to see. I mean, like Smitty and I were joking kind of all day. We get out in the heat race right off the bat, start the night, and 1-2 battling it out. And then it's like, just look back when on the Geico Honda days, that was pretty much every day, every practice, that was kind of what it was. And both of us just going to, give all we got. And it's cool. I mean, both have kids now, married, and heck, we're 27, 28 years old. And kind of back out the front of the field again.
Well, Levi's a good dude. I'm not saying that he's not, but when I put you and Smitty in the category, you guys haven't dyed your hair blonde in the last 2 years. I mean, you're at a different point in your career.
A little bit older than Levi. Not even, I mean, not much older, just he's kind of fresh.
That's true. That's true. Hey, would you ever go? Would you full go platinum and just do a Sexton or a Levi Kitchen and just dye your hair at this point in your career, or would your wife kill you?
No, there's no way that would happen. Back when I was like 10, 11 years old, I did have blonde hair. But yeah, I'm a little bit too mature to do that these days.
No, you're not, dude. You got to let it rip. But look at Lars. I mean, I love Lars. He will run the Mohawk until he retires. You've got to have a little attitude. I think you should show up with the red plate and some blonde tips. What's up?
Man, because then if I go out and win again this weekend with blonde hair, I mean, that's staying on for the rest of my life.
You got to keep it right. That's actually a great point.
Don't want to start any new traditions.
You have watched people run the red plate. You have watched they've been asked, is there added pressure? What is that like going into a race with the red plate? How heavy is it on the bike? You finally in that position.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have the answers for you yet. This weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for myself, just kind of the same thing. Like even this week practicing, like rush straight back to work. I mean, Monday, Tuesday, same group of guys. And I mean, it's nice to be around a bunch of dudes that have already gone through it. Like there's not a guy I'm not riding with that hasn't had a red plate or won championship. Like it's just kind of
that's cool.
What I've been in. Yeah. I mean, literally every single dude I ride with during the week is all won a championship and had run red plates and stuff. And I mean, look at Alden, the dude. I don't think he's had a rider without a red plate in who knows how many years.
Right. I think it's a mandatory on your resume before you get in there. You're lucky. You're lucky to get in there.
It's just nice to kind of be the guy right now. but yeah, not really kind of changing. I mean, nothing really changes coming into this weekend. I mean, same plan is just, and you go out there and try to execute the weekend I did, at Anaheim. Not ask for too much. I felt like I took it pretty slow throughout the day. I mean, I wasn't too worried about being the fastest guy in practice. I mean, I wasn't too worried about winning the heat race. And yeah, it just kind of came all together there in that main event.
Well, here's the thing is I wish our sport was a lot more like, some of the bigger, stick and ball sports in F1, where when a guy comes in and says, my car sucks. I mean, and this is why, or the team, the team principal will tell you whatever that is. And you've struggled over the last couple of years with, your setup, and you've done the thing that everybody always does. And, you just basically take it on the chin and you don't blame the bike. Watching you at Anaheim 1, you're finally on the bike that you've wanted, the Husky that that you've deserved, and you look great in the whoops. You've looked so comfortable out there. It looks like you picked up the pace if you were pressured. I know that you've had some struggles with the learning curve on that bike, but it's finally where you want it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you put it into words. I mean, like when I came over, I was very truthful, and I always have been my whole career.
Yeah.
But I've never talked necessarily bad about any manufacturer or team that I'm in, and I knew what we were capable of and where the bike could be, and they knew that wasn't the best I was on the bike that I was racing. Like they knew I had a lot better and could be better. And yeah, right after Nations, I got home. I had about 7 days off and straight out to California. And literally from the time I got on that bike, it was a completely different bike from Nations that I got to test out here in California. And man, just so stoked on it from the beginning. Like they made massive improvements. I mean, even to the just the general public looking at my bike, like you can tell there's quite a bit different things than what I've ran in the years past. And yeah, we got a lot more engine also. And exactly like you said, from literally first lap, even on press day, man, like press day is something I usually don't feel great at. I mean, your bike's stiff as can be. And yeah, dude, I just had that comfort, and then led into Saturday morning. I mean, man, things were just clicking. And like, you can tell whenever things are going the right way for that guy. Because I've seen it. I mean, I've been around and you can tell like, okay, and he's got something figured out right now. And that's just kind of how I felt all day, and wasn't too stressed about anything. Nothing kind of got away from me. And yeah, sure enough, we got the red plate, which is massive. I don't think anyone really realized how big that is for, myself and even my team. Like, dude, we haven't had that since I've been on, Husky.
Well, you have carried the Husky banner, and that's one of the cool things about you is no matter who you ride for. I mean, you're that guy, and you're always going to be in a championship contender, which is awesome for Husky. But you get to bring them that. But what is it like? I mean, explain to fans when you have a bike when you're so comfortable that you can hit whoops like that, and you're gaining time on the field. I mean, that has to feel great every lap, knowing I've got this is worth tenths every lap.
Yeah, and I haven't had that feeling in years.
Right, exactly.
Like, if you watch it, you were there, so you've seen, like, I could pretty much just get through the rest of the track. And, I mean, I was so kind of comfortable everywhere else, just hit my marks, whatever. Got to the whoops, and I knew every single lap was probably 3 to 4 tenths whoops. So that was my main focus. Was like, okay, get to the whoops and get through them clean, crush them, get out, and, survive the rest of the lap. Or the rest of the lap. And I have never been able to do that before, and that just kind of goes to show how comfortable and confident I am in my bike right now, and kind of just knowing what it's going to do. Like, that's what I always kind of asked of my dirt bikes and motorcycles is, look, like, if it's going to be bad in this area, I want to know it's going to be bad, and like that's the way it's going to kick me.
No surprises, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I don't really mess around with my setup. Don't go crazy with it. Just clicker changes, sag here and there, because that's just where I'm at now. It's like, look, I'm so comfortable with what I come up with that I'm not going to remake something on the weekends. Like, leave what I know on there and kind of miss small tunings here and there. And yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it.
And this is no disrespect to you, but last year you got to watch Jet do that to you every lap. just pull away in the whoops.
Every single lap, every weekend. Like, it didn't matter because I would work so hard everywhere else on the track, and then he'd get to the whoops or get to whatever section it was and gap me. And then it's like, gosh, now I'm working so hard everywhere else just to get it back. Yeah, it was nice to kind of.
It felt good though, right? RJ, it felt good knowing that Gigi's looking back like, damn, where is he making up this time?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was cool. And man, just to see like the pit board, like it went, +2, +4,
nice.
+7, +9. Like, dude, when I got to +9, I was like, all right, it's getting real here. And then the medic flag came out, and I tripled into that section.
Yeah.
And all I seen was red cross flags. And dude, like, I'm like,
freaked out.
My gosh, I just threw it away. Like, I thought for sure I tripled in on the, red cross. So then, I don't know if you've seen, but every lap after that, I was double, and then I would roll almost the whole section just to make sure. I'm like, look, I'm at about a 10-second lead here. This is not getting taken away from me.
Yeah.
And then I rewatched the race, and dude, the guys behind me, like, they're passing and doubling and everything in that section.
I know, it was insane. And here's the good thing is if you have a 10-second lead and there's going to be a 5-second penalty, it's like, okay, I've got the buffer. But during the race, when you have that, that cognizant thought in your mind, that had to mess with you. Like, did I just throw away Anaheim 1? Am I going to have to answer questions all week about this?
Yeah, exactly. And like, man, I was so stressed about it because I did not see a single thing, and I was hitting that corner, a right-hander, so fast all day, and I just tripled in, and in the air, I seen it, and I locked up everything the best I could. So I land, and like I slid off of that next
right.
Yeah, you're going so fast through that rhythm. And yeah, just the whole time I was like, oh my gosh, I did not just do that. So I hit the whoops. I think because I looked over and the woops get sketchy as hell in those because like I'm checking to make sure.
Yes, the flags were stuff.
Red cross wasn't out. But yeah, then that was the first thing I asked as I got off. I'm like, please tell me I did not. Like, no, you're good. You're good. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Hey, you rode although you did awesome always, but you rode the whoops the last lap like I would, which I thought was hilarious because you're literally, you are rolling the whoops like I've got to bring this home.
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of where I was. Like, even with like the couple laps that I did completely roll the rhythm. Yeah, I hit the whoops fast, and I still was getting like a little bit of a gap. I'm like, all right, I think it was 3 laps to go, like the second set. I was literally, I think I was going double, maybe 1 triple roll out. Yeah, just get this thing through it. I've rode well all day. I'm not doing anything stupid here to throw it away because there's been plenty of times where I've still tried to do something stupid and thrown it away. Yeah.
This is a first world problem. This is the question you want to have asked all year. Do you feel the pressure to win the title this year? You last year you ran into the juggernaut that is, this young phenom that we're talking about, could be a generational guy. But is that there? I know that, you looks like you had so much control. You rode, you weren't sketchy at all. And it seems like the pressure, if there is any there, it's not affecting you to ride to stick to your plan.
Yeah, the last 2 years I've gotten second. In the championship to Jet, and I feel like I've rode really well the last 2 years, and it was kind of hard to still get beat every single weekend. I had 2 wins, but Jet was just so much better than myself, and then you have a lot of talk going into the off season, and I re-signed my deal going into that. And to be honest with you, I'm paid to win. Like, that's what I'm paid to do now. So that's my new contract is like, look, you're our guy now and we expect that from you. Yeah. But it's not like, it's the same mentality. Like, I'm not stressing over anything. Like, they're my bosses and they're going to make the calls for me. There's a lot of talk on the 450 and, I should be there, but also I'm paid to sell dirt bikes. Yes. And if, this looks great on, these FC250s, like, man, I feel like I'm doing really well right now for the manufacturer and this 250. So I 100% it's a business, same thing. Like, we're going to do whatever's best for our sponsors. Mm-hmm. And, me going out and battling for wins on the weekend, like that's the best thing for our sponsors.
Absolutely.
So, I'm same thing. Take it weekend by weekend. I definitely feel like I've been kind of close to that. I can do it, win a championship here and there. But, I mean, Jet just kind of stole that thunder the last 2 years. So now finally he's out of the class, which sounds crazy, but he just goes out and wins first race on a 450 in Supercross. So it doesn't look so bad on myself now.
That was going to be my next question. Is there any solace in knowing that he just beat the best 450 riders too?
Yeah, I mean, he did, and he did it. It looked pretty dang easy how he made it.
Like you,
this how that weekend went for him. I mean, it was pretty crazy to see. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm even close to that level right now to go out on the 450, but it does feel a lot better knowing that I just got beat by a dude 2 years in a row that went out there and won his first race ever on a 450.
And that is because that's the one thing I've always said, you can't control your competition. Coming through your whatever your career is, whether amateurs or pro, you can't compete. You can't control who you're competing against. If you run into an RC or a Stewart or a Villapoto or whatever, and these guys just click off titles, I mean that you might be second your whole life, and it's unfair, but it's also, for me, it would be a little bit of peace knowing, hey, it's like, if you lose to a team in the playoffs, they go on to win the Super Bowl. Hey, at least we lost to the best.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's crazy. The kid's so young and so good at what he's doing right now. It's nuts. And I seen someone made a post like the 250 podium was older, the average, than the 450 podium. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, how much you can do when you have a couple dudes that come through that are that good.
Yeah. When you saw Juju get out, you're like, holy shit, these rookies come out of nowhere. Am I running into this again?
Yeah, no. I mean, I've rode with Juju a few times during the week, so I knew the kid was going to be good.
Okay.
I mean, it's solid. I mean, even the guys that ride with during the week, like, I see the younger kids coming up, and it's just funny. Like, it's literally history repeating itself with a lot of the crap that goes on. And now, I've been around so long, like I can see what's gonna happen, and if sure enough, like it happens with these young kids.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of learning, really.
When you look at like the stuff with Savacci and kind of looking back at like riders that wish they had a shot to come back to 250s, do you like the 250 point out rules? Do you think they need to be modified? Do you think you should never have to worry about that? What are your thoughts on the class, the past and the future with those rules?
I think so. Going back to the old rules that were in line, I would have pointed out that next year. So I was on my way out. Like that following year was it for me.
Right.
I mean, that could have been the end of my career, which, who knows? He doesn't have a win. He's going to the 450 class now.
No ride. You're done.
Yeah. And that's not, I mean, I feel like that's not fair because, I mean, dude, I had a lot of rough years, COVID hit, whatever else. Like those years were kind of a wash. So now, I mean, I think it's pretty fair. Like you win a championship. Yeah. Maybe for myself, the defend one, I mean, that's kind of a question mark, but until you win a championship, I don't feel like you should be forced out. And Savacci's kind of that rule right now where, I mean, I feel like he should be able to be back in that class.
Yeah. And for the health of the sport, because I've been doing this long enough to know where guys would just fake injuries or lay down. Not to point out, it's like that's not good for the health of the sport. I mean, you have to want somebody to push hard to the finish line, but you don't want to penalize them when, like you said, you point out just points don't, it doesn't equate to careers. I mean, we just talked about the competition you run into. So for me, those old rules were ridiculous, but at least now you don't see guys trying to lay down.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where I was at in my career is I never was the one to, not point out like you said, fake an injury or something like that. Like I legit did it the right way. I mean, every year I could, race and finish. I did. It just happened. The rule changed that next year that I would have pointed out. I mean, it's tough to say. Like there's, of course you're going to have people that are going to bash you for your age and stuff, but it's also like if I was getting third or fourth right now, you would not hear a word about it. Just because I'm winning and riding well now, it's like, okay, he's been in the class, 9, 10 years. Mm-hmm. He should have been out, but like I said, it's good for the sport. I mean, honestly, like my sponsors, because if I wasn't, right here in the 250 class with, Husqvarna, they wouldn't be getting that recognition that they are right now. And, of course, you get their money worth for our sponsors.
I look back on the former factory teams and the heyday of the work spikes and things like that when teams would have 3, 4, 5 factory riders, and when you had a somewhere to go, and when you look at the 450 rides right now and you look at the contracts and people that are locked up and things like that, and you look at the rides that are available, they without a championship or without being one of the top guys, you are not going to get an elite ride, and then you will literally be forgotten about in the year. It's a sad commentary on our sport, but it's true. Results are everything. And if you come up with a stellar 250 career and then all of a sudden you're battling for top 12s in the 450s, I mean, that's a nail in a coffin for a career.
Yeah, exactly. And the amount of money you can make in the 250 class compared to that 450 class, like you're taking pretty much just a salary,
right, to
get race that 450.
Yeah.
Like it takes some time, unless you're Jet Lawrence and you go out there and win your first one. Like it takes some time to get used to that. So yeah, I mean, just coming off my year last year with the team and stuff, like that was my best year I've ever had, even financially. So yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, I definitely want to race 450, and I think I'll get to that point of my career. But yeah, I'll enjoy these years as I can. Hopefully, I do win the championship, and I have to move out. But until that day comes, we're going to enjoy the 250 class.
And here's the best part: is Events Freeze moved up.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I was joking around with that, and because my old practice mechanic used to work for him. I was like, hey, make sure you tell Freeze to chill whenever West Coast comes around, because he's supposed to race at 250, I thought. And then he goes out there 450 and just a disaster round one.
Do you have any stories about with racing him? Like, do you have like the story? Everybody has a vent story. I mean, do you have one?
Dude, no. Honestly, I really don't, because he's always been on the opposite coast.
Oh,
I did
okay.
race 250. I mean, I've hung out with him a couple of times. Not like hung out, but I've seen him. He's been there. He's always been cool to me. So like, I don't have any really negative to say. From what I watch.
When you watch, I mean, when you see like the World Supercross stuff and then this stuff, I mean, when you talk about common denominators, I mean, I've defended this guy for probably half a decade. I've always been like, hey, he's just a hard racer. He just wants it real bad. And you get to a point where like, dude, it's you. Like when you're the asshole, somebody has to say you are the asshole. I mean, and he's the one that's always in the middle of this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the start situation, that's whatever.
That's what I could go either way.
I see that, but the Dean thing, that was bad. Like that should never happen, especially first lap. Like that was ugly.
And it was like almost like a last lap, last corner, like you in New Jersey in the mud, just coming in bonsai. Yeah. But that's for the last lap, last corner pass.
Yeah, or like a podium maybe or something like that, but not first lap for 18th. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, that is all. So for me, I joke about the best thing about being on 250 is that Vince is on a 450 because he's like a Leslie. He will get a good start, and then that's the worst part because by the time he fades back to 7th, he's going to do some damage.
Oh, 100%. Like that would be pretty much the pinpoint on the weekends if he was there is to get around him safely, whatever that looked like. Because I mean, he's guaranteed to be 1-2 off the start. Like that's almost, like you pretty much pencil him there no matter what. And I was honestly like the start that he pulled in that heat. Like I was watching him for some reason. Dude, it was unreal. Like,
yeah,
the guy starting is insane. Yeah, then just. Not pretty after that. I don't know.
It just goes in the shithole after that. Well, dude, I know that you're a dad. We'll get you the Dunlop 5 questions and get you out of here. But we definitely appreciate. I know you've had you do all those post race interviews. You do podcasts all week and all that stuff. And we used to be the only one, but now I know you guys get hit up a bunch. So we definitely appreciate that. But all right, here we go.
Hey,
Dunlop.
What? No, I will say you're the only one that I've answered to this week. It's been
dude.
Low-key. I've been. Yeah, so whenever you hit me, I was like, okay, this is my guy. I gotta get back to him.
Dude, I just had a small tear roll down my face. That means a lot to me because we've been through you with the ups and downs, and that means a lot. That because I almost don't hit people up after the week they win because I know that they get slammed. But I was just so happy. I was literally just screaming I'm just like yes, and then your smile, and it was it's just like because we've seen you've been on the ground plenty, and you try so hard. It was the good guys won tonight.
Yeah, exactly. No, I appreciate it. Like I said, like it's cool to see like a lot of the media. You'll see them do some things that kind of lose respect for them, and that's you guys are just one that's always stuck in there even through my kind of negatives. So yeah. Like to repay for that.
Well, that I appreciate that. All right, so here we go. This is a controversial question, so I don't know if you're going to bomb on this or not because there's only one right answer. Single over table to single, is that a triple or a quad?
That's a quad. It's a quad. Yeah. Like this weekend, we were going 3, 4, 4.
Yes.
That's there's no triple. No.
All right, so it's always been so the dirt filled in the middle. It's still 2 jumps. On a tabletop. Okay.
Yeah.
And racers, I agree because I've always called, even way back to when James was doing crazy shit, I'm like, that's a quad. I mean, just call it a quad because that's what it wasn't designed to be jumped that way. So just give them the credit for a quad. So I totally agree with that. That to me is a quad. All right. Do you wear Crocs?
I do. I just got a new set of camo ones for Christmas too. So.
I'm going to send you a picture of mine. I got them for Christmas too. And
the camo ones.
I'm not ashamed to wear them.
Yeah, exactly. We probably got the same ones.
Oh my God, dude. That is, I asked AC that. He says, I don't have Crocs, but I wear, Skechers. So he's like, ooh. But for golf shoes, I guess they're more comfortable for his feet. But I'm like, because people give me shit about Crocs and it's not like I wear them to, formal a wedding or something, but man, to pop those on around the house and just a run to the store or gas station, I'm all about them.
Oh yeah, I'll wear them to the track too, like just on a whatever day, practice day.
Alden's not listening. What's your cheat food when nobody's looking? What do you slam down for your guilty cheat food?
Man, it's been pizza, honestly. Like recently it's kind of changed. Yeah. Just because I don't eat much gluten at all now. So yeah, whenever I can have a legit pizza, that's my go-to.
All right. You got kids, you're married, you're mature, but how is RJ with road rage? I know California, you don't live in California, which helps, but how are you with road rage?
No, I'm fine. Like I'm okay with that. My wife, on the other hand, nah, yeah. We're lucky that I'm kind of calm because it would not be pretty.
Really? So she's got the rage. Okay.
Oh yeah. Big time.
You are a factory racer.
Driving with me.
You're trying to pass people for a living. And when you're right, you know what? That makes sense because you do it all day during the week. So when you're in a car, you're like, dude, I need to chill for a minute.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Like whatever. Someone cuts me off. I'm like, hey, they're in a rush. Whatever. I'm cool.
Well, I'll tell you what, in California, you'll get shot. In Florida, it's not nearly as bad, but this is, I'm glad. Hey, last question. This is not even the Dunlop question, but what about Yoshi in that contract and with the Dodgers and a pitcher being able to hit like that? I know you're a baseball guy. That's this kind of talent doesn't come around very often.
Dude. Yeah. I mean, and that contract is insane too. And then like, it just cracks me up how they like defer the payments or like the contract.
He's awesome.
Like, he's paid for like the next 60 years or something ridiculous, just so the team has enough money to hire a dang bullpen catcher. Like, and it's funny, but no, it's cool. Like that in baseball is almost like kind of Jet right now, how he is in motocross. Like it does not come often at all.
Wow.
And when it does, I mean, yeah, you're going to know, and the contracts are definitely going to show.
Who's your baseball team? Are you National League or American League? Who do you pull for? The Braves?
Yeah, Braves. Yeah.
So you gotta face this dude for the next 10 years.
Yeah, but he can't pitch this year, so there's one thing.
That's true. That is true. But anyway, my wife, who knows nothing about baseball, says, "How come he got so much?" I said, "Because the son of a bitch can hit too."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these guys are getting, massive for just pitching, but this dude can get up there and lead the league and dang home runs too.
You got anybody for the NFL playoffs? Or you NFL guy at all?
I mean, just fantasy, man. Just had a really rough fantasy year. Listen to this. Made the playoffs in all 4 of my leagues.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, hey, I got 3rd in all 4 of them.
That's brutal. That's like you don't even get very much money for 3rd. That's what sucks.
Yeah, you get your money back. So
That's
literally,
it.
I just wasted 18 weeks or whatever
all
it
the
is
stress,
for $0.
All the stress, the injuries, the free agency, all that stuff for nothing.
Yep, exactly.
My wife forbids me to play anymore. So and my Sundays and my Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays are much better. So it works out. All right, well, dude, RJ, thank you. Get back to being a dad. We appreciate you giving us some time here in the week. Congratulations on the red plate, the Anaheim 1 win, man. You know that the Atlanta RJ fan chapter is thriving here at DMXS. We appreciate you being on, and we got your back.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Peace. Thanks, RJ. Everything go RJ Hampshire. If you don't smile after that interview, then you just don't get life. That dude is amazing. Very cool that he decided to be on after this. I know that he got hit up a bunch on that. But man, just can you imagine riding as hard as he did for 2 years and just watching Jet Lawrence just pull away and just get all the accolades, all the championships, all the bonuses, all that stuff, and then he's like, hey, if he's not here, that's me. But RJ's still a class act, always has been, always will be. And that's why we pull for him. So thank you guys for listening to DMXS, Racer X, MX Sports, W Wheels, OGO Concept, 2 Rowers, and of course the great folks there at Dunlop. Thank you guys. Check them out at Ride Dunlop. And gosh, who do we have on the thing? Oh yeah, I've got a couple lined up. So we will figure it out here the next little bit on our next lineup, but it's going to be 2 factory riders in the next week here, 450. So DMXS, thanks for listening. Peace.
This is Davey the Duke Millsaps, and you're listening to DMXS Radio, the best damn station on the planet.
Get ready, America, because WUSA is your #1 source for quality wheel sets in America. WUSA offers all the top brands that you and the world's best racers know and trust, like Reed, Dungy, Millsaps, Tickle, Sealy, Short, and more. All rely and trust WUSA, because all our wheels are built right in our shop in Orange, California. And if you want it custom made for your bike, like the world's best freestyle riders, Renner, Deegan, Adams, Madison, Mason, Sherwood, and others, you can choose different spoke and nipple colors for a completely custom look that'll dazzle you. Off-road riding, WUSA can build you wheels for the absolute toughest of conditions. And W also offers DID and Excel rims, along with OEM replacement spoke and nipple kits for your stock hubs. Need brakes? W offers the industry's best oversized and standard brake kits from Galfer and Brembo. Just see your local dealer or visit us at WUSA.com. Hey, you can also download the most current W catalog from the iTunes App Store. WUSA, DUBYA USA. It doesn't get any better than us.
You listen to us because we are motorcycle guys. You might even call us gurus. We are awesome.
I've been called a lot worse than that, Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, we're the guys. We know everything. I know everything about you. I know everything about movies. I know everything about the space shuttle launches and the crashes. Everything.
And because you turn to us for motorcycle knowledge, we only tell you about what's the best, Kevin, because our spotless reputation that we've built for 16 years is on the line. That's why.
Yeah, and I would not risk my crappy reputation on just anybody. That's why we are telling you about Dunlop tires. It's what we have on our bikes. I have a fleet of motorcycles, and they all have fresh, crispy Dunlops on them. If the pros have them, you know us amateurs going to have them. They're good enough for them. They got to think they're good enough for us dorks.
Too good for Dunlops. You're a tire snob. We want nothing to do with you.
Yeah, good luck with that. But not just the pros use them. Everyday riders agree, and they have the testing to back it up. You can't beat the quality of Dunlop motorcycle tires.
Let's wrap this bad boy up, Kevin. Whether you're on the dirt, the road, or the track, you can depend on Dunlop. To learn more about their products, visit DunlopMotorcycleTires.com or your local pro dealer. The amateur guys are working their way up. Go to a Dunlop pro dealer. Check them out. We love them. You will too.
It's the cry of the lion, the burning in your soul, and it's the